please. Let's write our matrix. 3, -4, 4 and 7, 1, -1, -2 and 2, 2, -3, 6 and 5. To get the 1 at the beginning, I'm going to switch row 1 and row 2. So row 2 moves up and becomes row 1. And row 1 steps down and becomes row 2. I'm not messing right now with row 3. Now to get my zeros underneath, I'm going to do -3 times row 1 and add it to row 2. And -2 times row 1 and add it to row 3. 1, -1, -2, 2. Okay, so -3 times 1 added to 3 gives me 0. -3 times -1 is 3, plus a -4 is -1. -3 times -2 is 6, plus 4 is 10. -3 times 2 is -6, plus 7 is 1. Now the bottom row. -2 times 1 is 0, plus 2 is 0. Or -2 times 1 is -2, plus 2 is 0. -2 times -1 is 2, plus a -3 gives us -1. -2 times -2 is 4, plus 6 gives us 10. -2 times 2 is -4, plus 5 gives us 1. Okay, moving to my next slide. And copying my matrix. Okay, so my next step is I want my 1 in the second column. So I'm going to do -1 times row 2. Row 1 stays the same. Multiply by -1. And then row 3 stays the same. Last step, or next step, I want to 0 there, so I'm going to add row 2 to row 3, because those will cancel each other. So row 1 is the same, row 2 is the same. Adding, I get 0, 0, 0, 0. Now if I look at my bottom equation, 0 equals 0, which is true. So this has infinite solutions. So to find those as solutions, we're going to write these two equations out. So I'm going to move this over here. For this second equation, I have no x's, so I have y minus 10z equals -1. If I solve for y, y equals 10z minus 1. For this top equation, I have x minus y minus 2z equals 2. I know that this is what y equals, so I can say x minus, and then my y, substitute it in. So I have x minus 10z plus 1 minus 2z equals 2. Combining like terms, x minus 12z plus 1 equals 2. Moving my 12z and my 1 to the other side, I get x plus 12z, whoops, x equals, my apologies, 12z, and when I subtract 1, so now I know x and y in terms of z. So x is 12z plus 1, y is 10z minus 1, and z is just z. So that means no matter whatever z value you choose, this is what you do to it to find x and y. And that is your lecture for 6.2.